Okay, what's going on, LBHT Crew B? What is going on?
Raven's still trying to ship off the best thing that ever happened to him.
Well, first of all, because listen, Danny is right on it. Okay, yes, we were late. We were 1 minute late.
We were not late at all, Danny.
Well, listen. B had to make sure he was all set for. They pull it up. He had to make sure he was ready. He had to make sure he was ready. Because tonight, the LCFL draft part 2 happens. Okay, he was making sure he was logged into a sleeper app. Everybody that's part of Patreon, the Patreon in the keeper league in a dynasty league, make sure you are signed into your sleeper app because the draft is happening right after the show. Okay, yes. But yes, thank you, Danny, for keeping us in line. Okay, appreciate it. What's going on?
You better turn what little authority you have to that chat, Danny. You're trying to bring it over here. All right. We're not having it.
Danny is the authority. King 95, what's going on? Salute to you. What's going on? Rave Kingdom, I heard you on Coach's show, sir. Okay, first of all, I will have you know that we have been saying that the Ravens need multiple weapons, not just one, but it cannot start with Allen Lazard. Give me a break. Is that the best we can do for Lamar Jackson? I think we could do better. Okay.
In fact, you could do worse. That's what it turned out.
Thanks for coming through, my friend. DDSQ, what's going on? Salute. Yes. D Weezy in the house. D Weezy, he holding it down in these Twitter streets for the LBHT crew. I see you out there. Yeah, salute. We're gonna talk about that too. Sharon, what's going on? Says hello to my favorite guys. Hope you're doing well. Indeed.
Thank you, Sharon. You as well.
Yes, Danny says hello, everyone. Welcome to one of the best Ravens pods ever. Hit the like and subscribe. Thank you, Danny. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. Just Aloe says hello, LBHT crew. I hope all is well. The NFL machine is trying to crush Lamar. Oh, we're gonna get into that. Omar Tillman, what is going on? Says good evening, fellas, and chat. And my guy Omar Tillman is a Panthers fan, and we will be talking some Panthers. We got some stuff to discuss with the Panthers. It's been kind of quiet right now, but there's been a little debate in some of the comments of some of these videos in terms of the moves that the Panthers have been making, which is why that's also in the title. Right moves and wrong moves. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. This is all right here. Our guy Hendo, hey, what's going on?
Not much. How y'all feeling?
How you doing, my friend? Hold on, let me change this banner out so we don't cover up your face. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Okay,
it don't matter.
Why don't you sit up? How about
that? Disrespectful.
Wow.
Yes. Well, first of all, Shug, thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I did not forget it. Well, I did forget it, but I remembered that I forgot it. But it's not Streamlabs, it's Stream Elements. That will be going up right now. Give me 1 second. But thanks for keeping us on point. Man, I love you guys, man. I love you guys, right? You're like you know the drill. You already know what's going on. Appreciate you. Jerome Bigby, Job Bigby's in the house. What's going on? Yes, indeed. Hey, what's going on, Nitro? I heard Nitro was cooking in the spaces, cooking somebody that tried to throw a little shot at us earlier. He found out the hard way. That's okay. Nitro. That's okay. Now he know. He gonna learn today. All right. Our guy, Coach Evans from Sit to Tally Films, is in the house.
What's going on, Coach?
What's up, Coach?
Alfonso Richardson, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Joy Walker.
Hey, Joy.
Yes. What's going on? MJ's in the house. What's going on? Jake P. What is going on? Our newest patron, Brian Colvin. What is going on? Thanks for coming.
What's going on, Mr. Colvin?
Okay. He wants to join the panel. Hey, the panel's full, my friend. The panel is full. But you know what you can do? Discord.
You can join Coach's call-in show every day, Monday through Wednesday, right now.
Or you can join any one of our Discords. We all have Discords. You can pick one. All right.
He called in yesterday.
Yes, I brought it up. I brought it up at the beginning. Yeah. He said he was joking. We know you, man. We messing with you, right? It's all good. It's all good.
No hard feelings.
Yeah. Man, we know Ray been supporting us, man. Salute to you.
Thanks.
Moses Jeremy, what's going on? Says, what's up, fellas? What's up with you? Yes. Danny wants to know what was said in these Twitter streets. We'll talk about it, Danny. We're talking about it. You know, a couple people were trying this. It happens every now and then they find out they're not the ones. But you know. Anywho, the Ravens versus Lamar Jackson. Okay, who's at fault? We're going to discuss that. And the Panthers, the right moves and wrong moves that they have made up to this point. Big Reg, what's going on? I see you in there. Salute.
What's up, Big Reg?
Coming through. Tanja's in the house. Tanja, hey, Jose and Brodney and Hendo. I'm driving and listening.
All right, Tanja, thanks for coming through, but stop typing.
Yeah. What's up, C Dubster? Says what's up, LBHT crew? Man, give us the real on this LJ foolishness in media. Oh, you're gonna get the real. That's what you will get here for sure. For sure. One Sessions, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. King Dan, make sure I get everybody here. Brady Quinn needs to keep Lamar name.
What Brady Quinn said?
What, him?
Yikes.
I didn't even see Brady Quinn.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do, because it's look, we have a slightly shorter show today because of the draft. Okay, we're gonna give you a full show, but it's gonna be slightly. It's not gonna be an hour and 59 minutes. It's not gonna be an hour and 55 minutes.
It might not be an hour.
It might be like an hour, 40 minutes, but we're going to end it shorter tonight. So we got to get through these things. First of all, our guy, Mr. OTR Mike. What is going on,
man? I saw it was a party, so I decided to
let's
I didn't know that Hendo was the key to getting you on stream. Hendo, you are now officially a member of Ring Kings podcast.
All right, listen. Couple things. We are streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. So wherever you're watching us, salute to you. Make sure you hit that like button, follow, all that good stuff. Also, we have this available on audio form the following day. So if you listen to the audio, salute to you. Hope you're enjoying your lunch. Make sure you give us a 5-star review. Okay. And the super chat. You're looking for the super chat button. This is how we do it over here, right next to Mikey. $ LBHT Show. That's the Cash App. The link is about to be pinned for the stream elements in 2 seconds. Okay. That'll be pinned at the top of the chat box. Both ways, you leave your donation, leave your comment, and you'll get a nice little animation right there from Microphone Man. All right. Okay. We're going to get this show started. But first, what?
Just Aloe, as in did Lamar P and Michael Wilbon cereal or something. Listen, every black person under the age of 60 peed in Michael Wilbon cereal. Don't listen to that, dude.
Now, we are going to start the show with a Black History fact. And B has a Black History fact for you.
And seeing as though it is draft day, the biggest and most important and best day of the year. I mean, a little less so with Hendo shenanigans, but that's neither here nor there. That's not part of this. I figured I'll go with a draft-centric Black History fact. So we were talking about a guy who was born. I want to see how many people can know who this is just off of the description without me naming the actual person. Born in 1939. Very sadly passed away in 1963 at the age of 23. He was a legendary college football player. He was the first black college football player to ever win the Heisman Trophy. And then he was drafted by the AFL number 4 overall. And then a couple of days later, he became the first black player ever drafted number 1 overall by the NFL. He was drafted by Washington after Congress or someone in Congress, I believe in Congress, threatened the owner of Washington because he still had not integrated his team. He said, either you sign a black player before the start of this coming season, or we're going to revoke your lease for your stadium. And so they drafted this player and immediately traded him away to the Cleveland Browns. And then these years later, he passed away, like I said, in 1963. And then 45 years later, had a biopic that came out about him. Anybody know who that is?
Well, I guess we know now.
Wow.
Does anybody in the chat know?
You pretty much gave it away.
I mean,
I was going to go with Gail Sayers at first, but then I know that's why I know it's not because you told us.
Got it, Big Reg.
There you go, Big Reg.
Bingo.
the Express Davis.
Yes.
He was traded away to Cleveland to be paired with Jim Brown, who they had just drafted a few years earlier, but unfortunately he was diagnosed with leukemia shortly after arriving in Cleveland and passed away a few months later. But he was the first Black Heisman winner and the first Black player to be drafted number 1 overall into the NFL.
Like Jim Brown and Ernie Davis back then, it's like having Adrian Peterson and Derrick Henry in the backfield, and they're lined up against 1950s linebackers.
Yeah.
That's what they had going on back there. They're like, pass, no, hand that ball off. We're running 60 times today. All right.
Well, you can pass. We can do that too. Like we're that type of athlete that we'll do whatever you need. We can play quarterback, running back, wide receiver, offensive lineman, whatever you need us to do. When you have athletes like that, you let them play whatever they want to play.
AB, you want another Black History fact?
Yes, I do.
Here you go. Bam.
Oh Lord.
All right, so we moving right along to the Ravens versus Lamar Jackson.
Shenanigans.
Okay, all right. So we did a short, little 10-minute video. I did it from work. You guys heard the audio. I don't like this. That's why I don't like doing stuff on my phone. I hated the audio quality, but we did it. We know you guys needed that instant reaction, so we gave it to you. Shout out to Raven C. What's going on, man? So we discussed it on the roundtable, all of us, and salute to Lily for the 420 donation. Oh, thank you, Lily. Let me read that real quick. It says, Uncle Brodney. Hey, it's Lily. It says, Uncle Brodney, next time you don't want to go to work, call your boss and say you can't see yourself working today. Hi to all my favorite uncles, Jose, Hendo, and Mike.
What's going on, Lily?
Thank you, Lily. Thank you. That's my niece.
and shout out to our latest patron, Mr. Banks. Signed up for the yearly Patreon. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Salute.
I believe that is DDSQ. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. Thank you. He says, I wanna play Razor Ramon tonight. Who wanna get it? Well, you can direct that attention to Twitter. There's some people that are trying to take some shots today. Well, not anymore. But listen, you guys know what's going on by now. Lamar's asked for a trade. He asked for it. He asked for it back in the March 2nd. He went to Twitter and told everybody right before John Harbaugh went to do his presser that he asked for a trade, and it's no hard feelings. It's just business. He just wants his money, which I can respect, and everybody should be able to respect. But apparently, real Ravens fans don't respect that, right? Because these guys right here, they can't. Boy, they put the work in today. They earned those capes. Okay, they earned it today, man. Like they're trying to tell everybody everything's fine. Hey, we're good without Lamar. Hey, it's fine. Hey, no problem here. I'm a Ravens fan first. They want to be in your mentions, letting you know. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm a real Ravens fan. Okay, you're not a real Ravens fan if you're rocking with Lamar, right? Yeah. So, no, what are you gonna say, B? No. So who's at fault for all this? Let's go back a little bit, because everybody is copping please right now. Everybody is like, oh well, I mean, this is why he should have had an agent. Oh well, they made him. They're trying to make him the second highest paid player in NFL history, not the first, right? The Deshaun Watson deal is just unrealistic. Lamar has to be more realistic. Nobody wants him. Okay, well, fine. Then why did you tag him?
Yeah.
My favorite part of that is you want the guy back, right? You know how good he is. You think that the 133 at signing, 175 for injury, 200 for Adam Schefter's report was a more than fair deal. He should have taken that. So he's definitely worth that. But then in the next breath, nobody wants you. Well, why don't you stop for a second and think about why that is? Why it is you say that nobody wants him and nobody's coming after him? Do you think it's that nobody wants to pay an elite quarterback? Or do you think it's that the NFL owners are banding together against your quarterback? And why are you joining them?
Right. And that's the thing. If nobody wants him, why place the tag on him? Why not just let him hit free agency and then we'll see what the market really says? Right? We know we all know this is colluding. We don't have to play this game, right? We're all grown-ups here, we're all adults. We know what it is. They're colluding and they're hoping that they can wait Lamar out, that Lamar will break. But Lamar don't care, man. Lamar will wait.
The thing is, like, people keep saying that Lamar's going to lose. I'm like, unless the Ravens pull their offer, how is it you think that he's going to lose? He's already got that. He's already got the offer that they gave him back in September, the same one they're sticking with now. So he knows what the very worst contract he will get is. It's that 133 at signing. So now he can go out and talk to whoever he wants to talk to, see if he can get more than that, but he's not going to get less. So losing how?
There you go. Hendo, Mikey, what are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Hendo. He said your name first.
I guess in my bias and limited simplistic view,
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Derek Lindsay says we're biased and simplistic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button if you're new, hit the subscribe button, because you're not simplistic. You're open minded. You're a free thinker, right? So you're gonna hit that subscribe button to get a different point of view, right?
Facts. But as you all said, you can tell it's collusion. What in what sport do you have teams come out within the first hour? Yeah, I'm not gonna go for that guy. It's too much trouble. Jim Irsay. Yeah, I don't believe in fully guaranteed contracts. Now, even if owners actually believed in those statements, they don't normally come out and say it out loud. They keep this information to themselves. So they're putting out this bias. You wake up this morning, Arthur Blank's talking about, his injuries and him not finishing full seasons, but you were in on Deshaun Watson. And as we know, he tore ACLs in both his legs. So his injuries weren't an issue. And the fact that he had 24 allegations at the time, it wasn't a problem. If it weren't for the Cleveland Browns, you probably would have signed him to probably the richest contract in NFL history. But because Steve Bisciotti came out and said, "Hey,
hold on, Hendo. Sorry, Derek, please hang around. Let us.
He said, I'm a lawyer. First of all,
I was wondering if Yolanda was in there.
First of all, I don't believe you. Second of all, Yolanda is a lawyer too, and she doesn't. She doesn't agree with you.
Listen,
right. Please stay here so we can get some of this game.
I'm sorry. I know some lawyers, and I don't know lawyers that go into spaces to call people names. So, this 15-year-old little girl, I know you feel a certain way because Lamar's leaving. You keep spewing your stuff. It doesn't affect us. We've heard it all before. And if you don't like it, why are you still here? Because you know that it's true and you want to hear the truth. So let us tell it to you. Sit down, be quiet, and maybe you'll learn something today. How about that? I'm done.
There you go, Mikey.
Look, man, this is the worst. This is all of that. Like, I kind of try to stay away from Twitter lately because this is worse than election season, right? Where you see when your timeline is flooded with all of the political, everybody's standpoints, and it's just like, all right, man, look, you're not gonna change anybody's mind. You know what I mean? Whatever. You feel who you feel, you believe who you whatever. It's also the worst hidden secret what the league is doing to this young man, right? You have, as you guys already pointed out, you have owners coming out one by one saying that they believe in these young cat, Desmond Ridder, Jacoby Brissett, and Sam Howell. Right. Like, come on. For people like our friend that was in here, the other lawyer, because we have one lawyer in our chat who we really listen to. She knows who she is. Mm-hmm. But listen, you guys are the ones that's fueling all of this. With you to be just so naive to what's going on, that's crazy. That's the crazy part about this situation. You mean to tell me that the former MVP, 26 years old in his prime, is not worth taking a flyer on, but Desmond Ridder is? But like you said, Hendo, he brought up injury, but yet not only did the quarterback that he was fighting for, who he was risking his organization by trying to sign, not only did he have serious injuries, but he had missed a year and a half, 2 years of football.
Facts.
So, but you were all in on him, and it was looking like he was going to come there before these other teams swooped in, before the Browns swooped in. So, man, it's ridiculous. What's going on is ridiculous.
He missed those 2 years, and those weren't the injury years.
Right.
So that's something to think about. Shout out to our guy DDSQ for the 420 says, "What's good? This Lamar situation smells of collusion and further shows teams don't really care about winning and only protecting their shield. Keep up the good work, fellas." Hey, thank you, DDSQ. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And listen, they signed Marcus Mariota, injury prone. Michael Vick, injury prone. So he can miss me with that. I was listening to Shady McCoy earlier, and he was talking about one of his contract negotiations. And he said when it came time for him to negotiate his contract, Arian Foster was the number one back at the time. And he felt like he deserved more money than him because Arian Foster only had one good year at the time. So through contract negotiations, they started talking about, oh, he's late to practice. He doesn't work hard. He has bad habits. Then once he signed his contract, he went up to Andy Reid and was like, yo, what's up with that? He was like, it's contract negotiations. What do you think he was going to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the other side to this thing, right? None of these owners are going to come out and say, I don't believe in my quarterback, right? Because they know it's a game, right? We don't know if I can get Lamar. So for me to say, hell yeah, I want Lamar, right? And then I don't end up with Lamar and I have a sour quarterback in our locker room, that's a problem, right? So I'm giving them that side of it, right? The benefit of the doubt. But why say anything, right? Just be quiet. Like what you're saying, you're bashing him, in other words, right? You're bringing up injuries in which he's never had surgeries for, right? You're talking about, then they're finding stuff, like you said, Hendo, they're bringing up, his work ethic. Now his work ethic is in question. When all of his teammates have come out and say he's the hardest working dude they've ever been around. So, listen, like I said, I've been staying away from it, but you're being completely naive if you can't read between the lines and see what's going on with this situation. The same, everybody's questioning what he's asking for, but then a report comes out and says, oh, but Justin Herbert and the Chargers are negotiating, and he may be the first player to ever see 500 in total guarantees, 500 million in total guarantees. But nobody batted an eye against that to say that that's asking for too much or that's way too much for a player. But nobody understands why he's asking for the value that he wants, or whatever that number may be. Nobody can take that from him.
He should take a team-friendly deal, right? But this guy who hasn't won anything, and we like Herbert, we all like Herbert, hasn't won anything. He's looking at 500 mil. It's disrespectful. Shout out to Mark 2K6. Appreciate the 420. Says, I do not think a team is going to make an offer for Lamar until after they use their 2023 first round picks. Would not make sense to do so before that, with the teams thought that we are going to give you 28 to 32 first round picks in 24, 25. Yep. No. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, again, the way it makes sense is if you don't want to compete with Miami, San Francisco, all these other teams after the draft, and you want to secure Lamar right now. And listen, I would do it because you don't want to risk not getting him, right? Especially, and I get the argument with the Colts, right? They're picking fourth. You can get a great player there and then turn around and get Lamar, right? But what if you take that great player there and then you don't get Lamar? And Lamar says, hey, send me to San Francisco or something. But yeah, to Hendo's point, like, you say whatever you need to say when you're negotiating, right? It doesn't matter. Like when I was negotiating the trade for Pat Mahomes, I'm like, hey man, Tyreek's gone. I don't know. We don't know if Pat is really Pat anymore, right? He ain't got no receivers over there. I mean, you don't believe that, but you say it,
right?
But to Mike's point, nobody's forcing you to say anything at all. Sure. You don't go out and announce who you're not going to sign in free agency. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Nobody, like, who out there has anybody come out and said, you know what? Nah, I haven't seen a parade of owners say, no, we're not signing Odell. We're not interested in Odell. We're not going to even ask Odell what Odell wants. Because that's the other thing. They're all saying, oh, well, it's too much what he's asking for. But none of them had talked to Lamar. So none of them know what he was asking for when they all came out and said, we're not going to sign with you, or we're not going to try to sign him. Mm-hmm. Not one of those teams had talked to Lamar yet because they were not allowed to talk to Lamar yet, unless they want to admit that they were breaking their own rules and they had contacted him and found out what he was asking for. But yeah, it's obvious that they put up a united front to try and force Lamar back into the Ravens offer. It hasn't worked up to this point. And like Jose has been saying for a few weeks, them owners are not going to hold out forever because there are, unlike Baltimore, there are some who want to win.
Facts. And that's the thing right there, right? Lamar, like you said, he has at the very worst. All right, I'll play on the franchise tag for $32 million, and then we'll try again next year when Burrow has to get paid, when Herbert has to get paid, and like B's been saying, those deals might happen before that, right? We already know Philly wants to sign Jalen Hurts. So there's 3 quarterbacks. If Lamar says, you know what, I'll wait till next year, you're talking about 3 more quarterbacks that are going to get a whole lot more, at the very least, a whole lot more than what Kyler Murray is getting paid, right? More than likely more than what Deshaun Watson is making now in guarantees. So now you have to pay Lamar even more next year.
Hey, Jose, Patrick Mahomes has to come back to the table after next season.
There you go.
So you got Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and his potential $500 million, and now you have to compete with that. I don't know why owners think that the salary for franchise quarterbacks is going to go down every year. So you can keep franchise tagging him and playing this game, but eventually the price is going to go up and up and up, and we know you're not going to pay it. So let him go now. Stop playing these games. Let him go now, because you're not willing to pay him what he wants, nor are you willing to give him the weapons that he needs. And I think that's another point to what Lamar's trying to say. Like, look, you don't want to give me the money. You don't want to give me the weapons, because if Baltimore had the salary cap, I guarantee you they would have went out and got Darius Slay, the cornerback. You always have that money for that defense. But when it comes to offense, it's like, my pockets are short.
Yeah. All right. Shout out to Marco G for the 333. Appreciate you. Says, before Herbert gets $600 million fully guaranteed, I need to know his sleep schedule, what time he eats, his lunch, what time he does his number 2, and where he was, what he was doing on October 12th, 2015 at 10:33 p.m.
Given quality for life, Mahomes' contract is not up. What he's saying is he's going to renegotiate it because he is severely underpaid at this point. And he's going to come back to the table as a 2-time MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and 28 years old, I believe. So, that Deshaun Watson deal, again, and this happens with every single contract. I don't care who it is. I don't care what position they play. That Deshaun Watson deal very soon is going to look like a bargain as well.
Yes.
And y'all are screaming outlier. You can't pay him that. But Joe Herbert, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and possibly Pat Mahomes renegotiating are going to blow that contract out of the water.
Pat Mahomes alone, when he comes to the table and says, I need $350 million guaranteed cash money, right? Straight cash, homie. What do you think? What are Chiefs going to say?
First and foremost, they're not going to say anything because we're not going to know about the negotiations. All we're going to hear is Pat Mahomes just signed for $300 million guaranteed.
Right.
Just like when he did his last deal. We didn't hear anything about it. It wasn't nothing in the news going around, people speculating. They just signed him to a deal and announced it.
Right.
Pat might renegotiate this summer. Don't be surprised if coming off another Super Bowl win that he does not renegotiate this year. Listen, like, given quality for life, like these contracts are, They what you make them, right? They're not, I'm locked in for 10 years. There's outs and all, and it's outs all over these contracts. It's already being discussed that they are going to redo that deal. It's only right. You know what I mean? And right now is the time to strike. This is what we need. We need him to come back to the table. We need, soon as these teams, I think they have up to a certain point before they pick up the 5th-year options on Herbert and Burrow, which is going to happen this year. And they can't negotiate until then. As soon as that happens, hopefully those two jump into this and say, okay, man, look, let's lock in, man. This is what I want. They need to, unfortunately, but right now Lamar is in this by himself, right? At last year, the year before, you had more than one quarterback up at a time, so they were kind of waiting. It was the domino effect. Okay, what's this person going to get? Because I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get higher than that. Blah blah blah. Right now, he's just there by himself. If these other two hop in this fray, that's what it's going to take to fight against these owners, because owners know what they're doing. It's not just about Lamar. This is going forward, right? The Bengals, we know the Bengals don't want to pay a fully guaranteed deal, right? Mm-hmm. So this is about all of these guys. So hopefully, man, they start negotiating sooner than later, and then they all get the bag. It's going to happen either way, but hopefully they all get their bag this summer.
Facts. And I left this comment up there because he was referring to Pat Mahomes' renegotiation. He said, that fast, okay. Listen, man, Darrelle Revis said not fast enough. Okay. Darrelle Revis was famous for this. I'm going to negotiate a brand new contract, and the very next year, I'm holding out unless you give me more. Mm-hmm. The very next year. Yeah. And you know what happened? They gave him more.
Yeah.
Salute to Anonymous for a $2 donation. Appreciate you. Says Lamar has played 85% of the games in his career. Facts. The injury-prone narrative doesn't even make sense, and just them grasping at straws of a dude that has flawless character. Not to mention the Ravens literally had an F-grade training team, but no one says that. That's a fact as well. We all know this. These are just talking points that people like to spin, right? When they just look. I'm a fan of the team first, right? That mentality, you're gonna buy into these narratives because you think you're negotiating something on behalf of the team that Lamar is going to sit there and be like, you know what? I never thought of that. You are right. I have missed the last 2 seasons. Let me knock a little bit off of my value. That's not gonna work. Right? And you can make all the excuses you want. This is very simple for Lamar. This is why everybody's mad. Right. This is why everybody's mad. People expect players to fold on this stuff. But all Lamar has to do is nothing. You can either pay me or not pay me. That's how this is going to work. Right. You're the one that doesn't have a quarterback next year. Right. If I sit out, which he can, or sit out through week 7 at the very least. Right. What are you going to do about that? Okay. You're already hurting. You can't sign anybody. I don't know. You brought Odell in for some crab cakes. That's about it. He's not going to. You offered him a very competitive contract. I'm sure you did, right? You're not. I mean, he's not going to sign. Nobody in their right mind will sign here until you get Lamar signed. Mm-hmm. So all you're doing is hurting yourself. You're hurting your rep. You don't have to believe it. Listen to. I mean, everybody that's on Twitter. I mean, you see a bunch of people from other teams talking about it. Shout out to our guy, Aaron Duncan from Unnecessary Bluntness, Panthers fan. Okay. He was talking about it. Shout out to Quincy Carrier for Worst Take. He did an excellent video on this. Fire. Okay. Browns fan. You can look at all these other fan bases. They are laughing at you. Okay. Because like Quincy said, we're the Browns now.
And Marcus says maybe, just maybe, other teams don't view Lamar the way we do. They might not think he's as good as we think he is, add in injuries, and I can understand the apprehension. Lamar is 45-16 as a starter. Lamar has been one of the most productive quarterbacks in the league, regardless of what stat you look at. He's at the top of the league efficiency-wise every year. Like, I'm not sure what do you mean that they don't view him the same way. But in terms of the injuries, how do they look at Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow tore his ACL in his rookie year. Has Lamar had an injury that bad? Does anybody call Joe Burrow injury prone? Again, Deshaun Watson blew out his ACL twice, or both his ACLs, I should say. Nobody called him injury prone. Same thing with Tom Brady. Same thing with Ben Roethlisberger. Well, I don't think Ben Roethlisberger actually tore his ACL, but Carson Palmer did before. Yeah, he injured everything else. Carson Palmer before him. There's a lot of players, a lot of quarterbacks who had much more serious injuries than Lamar Jackson has had, and not a word is said about them. So no, it doesn't have anything to do, nothing to do with his injuries. And nothing to do with people not viewing him the way that the Ravens fans do. It's not a way that you view him. He was a unanimous MVP. Who didn't view him that way? Like who can watch Lamar Jackson play and think, nah, he's not that good? Yeah. And more to the point, who can watch Lamar Jackson play and say Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke are better? You know what? I prefer Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett. You know what? Jared Goff, that's my guy. Yeah. I don't even know who they're looking at in the Colts building right now to not go after him. Who's going to sign Jimmy Garoppolo and say this guy's better than Lamar Jackson? Come on, man.
I'm top of that in a second, but I want to read this from Keelan. Shout out to Keelan for a $3 donation. Says no one wants to bring up how Lamar got injured because of the Ravens' negligence. Facts. Traded away Zeus, played Ronnie while he was still injured, so Lamar had no tackles and got an ankle injury. Then they had a tight end blocking a D end, and his knee got injured. Facts. Facts. And the trainer got an F minus. F minus. We all know what it is, man. Like we all know what it is. But look, what you brought up, right? Because Arthur Blank, I told you before, B, unless Arthur Blank is sending text messages to Lamar saying, "Don't believe anything that I'm saying right now. This is all just for show. I love you. I want you here. We need you bad." Unless he's doing that, man, Arthur Blank has to answer. Man, these donations come in. Salute. I'm gonna read those in a second. He has to answer to his fan base as well. So you're telling me that you want to go with who's the MAGA guy that did sign? Taylor Heineke. Yeah, you want to go with MAGA Heineke in Atlanta?
Of all places.
Right. Yeah. No, we don't want Lamar. Give me Heineke instead. We're good with that. That's your answer to that fan base. Good luck. Right? Good luck with that. Salute to. Let me read these. Oh man, they came in. They came in. What's up? Read an anonymous one, B.
That's a $25 donation from Anonymous. Thank you very much. He says, "Greetings, everyone. Have a terrific show."
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you, Anonymous. Appreciate you. And we got another donation here from Mark 2K6. Thank you for the 420. Says, you can tell these what are these ghosts? All of the numbers which are outstanding, playing on the team that made 0 upgrades. Yes, on the offense in 5 years, but they have created their own narrative. Yeah. No. Exactly. Exactly. They're going to create that narrative. They're going to use the media to try to push it. But what they're struggling is a lot of people just aren't buying it.
And I want to have I'm sorry, I want to read Marcus' response here, since we did kind of rant a little bit on him. Because I hear you, but that isn't what the results are showing us right now. They got in a bidding war for Watson with all his baggage. Burrow hasn't missed a game in 2 seasons, but he has missed 8 games in 3 years, which is only 2 fewer than Lamar's missed in 5 years. But that's neither here nor there. To your point, they all got into a bidding war for Watson, and the league as a whole regrets that, right? So it's not anything. It's not that they don't view Lamar as being worth it. They're saying, hey, why did we all get into a frenzy and allow Deshaun Watson to get a fully guaranteed contract? We don't want to go down that road, even though that's not even the first time they've done it. And again, people like to conveniently forget that Kirk Cousins got a fully guaranteed contract. But what they're saying is, like, we got to come together now and make sure that this doesn't become the norm, because it's not just Lamar Jackson. Like we've been talking about, it's Lamar, it's Justin Herbert, it's Joe Burrow, it's Jalen Hurts, it's potentially Pat Mahomes, it's Trevor Lawrence coming up. There's a lot of young quarterbacks, a lot of young, very good quarterbacks who are going to be coming up for their contract extensions, and they do not want to pay those fully guaranteed contracts and just keep it escalating. Even though the players are worth it, they're trying to artificially suppress their salaries.
Yeah. Go ahead, Hendo. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just going to respond to that. You know, he said the results are in, and like Courtney Rogers said, how many games has Jimmy G missed in the last 3 years? But people also seem to forget Jimmy G went to San Francisco and off of a 5-game sample got a record-setting contract off of 5 games. He's missed games. Nobody talks about that. But more importantly, what I wanted to ask earlier is, you say that teams aren't believing in Lamar like we are. Who the hell convinced the NFL and several teams that Carson Wentz was a starting quarterback somewhere? But he keeps getting money. He keeps going places. So you can't have me believe Carson Wentz is fine to go from franchise to franchise, but nobody's in on Lamar.
So here's an easy solution, right? If you really believe that teams don't really want Lamar, right? Simple for the Ravens too. Listen, Lamar, we want you here. We think we've made you the best offer, and because everything's good. There's no problem. We love Lamar. Lamar loves us. It's all business, right? And he wants to be here. It's just the money thing. But we know for a fact that we've made you the best offer. So we're going to release this tag off of you and just hit free agency. And we are that confident that we have made you the best offer. We're just going to let you go and find out for yourself. That's being confident. Not this, we're going to tag you. And if somebody steps up and makes you a huge offer, we have a chance to match it. That's you being scared. If you're that confident, release the tag and let him walk. But you would hate that, because when somebody signs them and you get a 3rd round compensatory pick, which we love it. I don't know. We love it. You'll be saying, what the hell are the Ravens doing?
Yeah, it's cowardly, right? It's scared, but it's also a move that discourages negotiation, right? Why would somebody work out the deal for you? But why would any of these other teams negotiate the contract, sign him just so that you can take him away? And then they're stuck with the situation of, hey, we didn't get Lamar, we did all the work, and now, I mean, I don't know why I care that Desmond Ridder is upset, but Desmond Ridder's upset. Okay?
Tim or Sam Howell.
Right. And Lamar, why would he go out and proactively try to find a deal when you're saying no matter what, we're gonna match it? And he just told you, I don't want to play for you.
Right.
To answer Darren's question real quick, it says on the Kirk argument, wasn't his deal significantly shorter than Lamar wants? Lamar hasn't actually said what he wants, but Kirk Cousins' deal was 3 years. So I mean, I would assume that Lamar's looking for 4 or 5. I wouldn't say significantly shorter, but it was the biggest contract in the history of the NFL at the time.
It's all relative
for Kirk Cousins.
Well, listen, it's all relative, because at the time, like B said, the biggest contract in NFL history, and the cap was significantly smaller, right? So relative to what the cap room was, that was a huge thing, right? And it's a completely guaranteed contract. It was a big deal, and everybody was giving him high fives, and they're giving him his kudos and all that stuff. And the amount of money isn't the issue, right? Because what we're talking about is the fully guaranteed part. Owners don't want a fully guaranteed contract, right? That's what they're saying. So you gave it to Kirk Cousins with no issue, and Kirk Cousins is nowhere near as good as Lamar Jackson.
No.
And I've never heard Lamar come out and say, I want a fully guaranteed contract.
But here's the thing where we haven't heard from the Ravens side, that they offered more than 133 mil. They keep saying, oh, well, we were negotiating with them up until last week, right? Isn't that what they said? Isn't that what Ian Rappaport, their insider, the guy that goes and calls EDC after everything?
Yep.
Up until last week, they were negotiating with Lamar. I didn't hear the number get higher. So what are you negotiating? Right. So here's another question too. Lamar says, all right, I'll play on this 32 mil. I'll play on this BS for this year, and then we'll try again next year. Do you think he's going to take the 133 million, or is it going to get a lot higher? It's probably going to get a lot higher. So all you're doing is paying out more money, because you don't have him locked in to what he wants now. It doesn't matter what he wants right now. That 230 million guaranteed, that's going to get blown out the water next year.
Yep. You keep saying second highest contract ever. That contract had stipulations in it.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your point. I want to see. I want to respond to Marcus. I'm sorry. Finish your point.
No, go ahead. That was what I was responding to. He was talking about. He keeps saying it's the second largest contract in history, but I mean, it had stipulations in it.
But he says, Jose, why would they rescind the tag? That makes no sense. They clearly value Lamar, second highest contract. If he wants to go, they're going to get their pound of flesh. The Ravens clearly want him. No. If they rescind his tag and they're giving him the best offer out there, right? It's not personal. Lamar already said it's not a personal thing. I just want to get paid what I'm worth. He can go out there and see nobody's offering what they're offering and go back and say, hey, you know what? You're right. This is the best offer. I'll take it. Why won't they do that?
Yeah, Marcus, what he was responding to when he said rescind the tag was you saying that nobody wants Lamar, which is not true. You don't franchise tag players who don't have a market. You know what teams do with players who don't have a market? They do exactly what Jose's saying. They say, you know what? This is the offer that we're making you. You don't want it. Go into free agency, see if you can get something better, and then come back and sign next week. They can't do that with Lamar because they know the second they take the tag off Lamar, he'll get a better offer and he'll be gone.
Facts. All right. Go ahead, Mikey.
No, I was just going to answer Eli S.'s question. Yes, bring up his playoff record. That's fine. You can bring it all up, but you have to. You can't. This is my point with Lamar. You can't overlook these same things that everyone's bringing up for these other quarterbacks that's about to get paid. I said earlier how they're talking about Justin Herbert is going to be the first player to possibly see over $500 million in total guarantees in the contract. Right? How many playoff wins does he have?
This is first time going this year.
How many playoffs has he played in? So this can't be a one-sided argument. That's just my point. Yeah, you can bring up the whole picture for Lamar, but there's also a whole slew of other players who's gotten paid big contracts, who has not won anything in the playoffs, those Super Bowls, nothing. So I don't understand why these arguments tend to come up when it's based on Lamar, right? Like, I mean, Dak Prescott got paid coming off of an injury and no playoff wins, right?
Thanks.
What's Deshaun Watson's playoff success?
One win.
I think he's at one win.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of guys that's getting that bag without the playoffs or whatever. So you bring up the whole picture. You just got to use this on everybody. That's my point.
Kyler Murray just came off one of the worst playoff performances ever and got paid.
Kirk Cousins, when he got his deal, no playoff wins.
So,
right? I mean,
so it's this.
Let's talk about resume.
Right.
Shout to Anonymous says, where will Mr. J play in 2023? Salute. Thank you for the $30 donation. I appreciate that.
It's rough.
Yeah, that's the thing about those. I'm sorry. I was just going to say that's the thing about the playoff resumes. Only one team wins every year. No. Everybody else who makes the playoffs gets an L on their record, and the rest of you don't make the playoffs at all.
Yeah. So Anonymous wants to know, where do we think he's going to play this year in 2023? Does he play for the Ravens or does he play for another team?
Y'all already know what I think.
I'm honestly gonna say Colts.
I'm leaning towards the Colts, to be honest. I'm leaning towards them. I think they're trying to do it real quietly, right? They came to visit in Baltimore. That might have had something to do with a trade package, possibly. They might be talking to Lamar on the low about what they want to pay him. It could get done.
The last I heard, they don't trade with Baltimore. They just take what they want.
Cool. But like you said, Brownie, once you wait till after the draft, you open up possibilities for other teams, and I think that's what's going to happen now. If Irsay would have kept quiet, I'd have been like, okay, he's plotting. But he started running his mouth, so then now I'm like, he might have frayed things with Lamar a little bit, just saying what he said. So if it gets past the draft, you already know Stephen Ross is coming for that dude. Miami, here he comes.
I've been saying it all along, man. Go to the Ravens Roundup Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's a not so shameless plug. Check us out there. Everybody on this screen, plus Chris just joking and Coach Evans. But I've been saying all along that I think the hoodie is somewhere over here lurking. He's quiet. He ain't saying nothing. His owner says something. And what his owner said, like, hey, it's up to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who we got now. It's up to him. I think New England is lurking. But what I would like to see, right? hope Lamar. I hope he plays. I hope he's here. I hope he plays out on this $32 million deal, and I hope he plays like 2019 Lamar. And then I hope next offseason he gives them his what to kiss. Yeah. Because you tag him again, we all know how that doubles. And they back in the same scenario. So ideally is what I want to see. That just the pettiness in me wants to see that. But there's a team lurking out here that's not saying anything, that's laying real quiet. And I think that's what it's gonna be.
You said Lion. I think Lions are another team that they ain't say nothing either.
No, they said they're out.
Yeah, his coach. Yeah, the coach came
We're out.
But well, Marcus, yeah, okay. You didn't say the specific words. Nobody wants him. You just said that teams don't view him the way that the Ravens do, and they don't think he's as good as you all think he is, and I'm the injuries and blah blah blah. What you're implying is that he's not worth it, and teams wouldn't go after him. All right, don't try to back off that.
Let me read this from Keelan. Shout out to Keelan, man. Appreciate the donation. It says teams trying to use the play style and durability narrative is something that was intentionally done by the Ravens. Lamar stated many times he didn't like playing that way, but the Ravens kept forcing him to do that, and it was to ruin his rep. I agree. Thanks. Yeah, well said. Well said. Listen, man. Who's to blame for all this? Because we didn't answer that question. Who's to blame for all this, right? Like who's at fault? Who's to blame? Because I hear shout out to Coach when he does his calling show. People call in and say, both of the blame. Oh, they both can take a little bit of blame, or nobody's to blame. This is just business, right? I have an answer, but first I'll go around and let's see what you guys have to say. Hendo, we'll start with you. Who's to blame for this debacle?
It's the Ravens. Of course they're to blame. Listen, and if you haven't heard Quincy, he eloquently broke it down today. He said, listen, Lamar Jackson came in the same time that Josh Allen came in. As soon as Josh Allen got his contract redone, the Ravens should have went right behind and did the same thing. Maybe added $1,500,000 on to make it a little bit more enticing because he was a league MVP. You had that opportunity, but the Ravens looked at that situation and was like, we're not paying Lamar all of that money, which I didn't understand myself because, of course, the market goes up every year. So if you didn't think you were going to pay him that much money then, what did you think was going to happen in the years to come? So in my personal opinion, it is the Ravens' fault. And I know people are going to say, well, it's Lamar's fault for not accepting certain contracts with stipulations. And that's the one thing, stipulations. They're not guaranteeing him anything. And I know everybody's going to say, well, all he said is he has to be on the roster in 2026, the 5th day of the league year. In business, when businesses and teams decide they don't want you anymore, they will cut you the 4th day just so they don't have to give you that money.
They cut Derek Carr the same day.
They cut exactly. So those are those type stipulations that Lamar doesn't want in his contract. Either you believe in me or you don't believe in me. And I think all along the Ravens have shown they don't believe in him. So he's like, look, if you don't feel the same way that I feel about you, let me go. Let me find another partner that's willing to dance with me the way that I dance. Because apparently y'all still in the 1920s waltzing.
All right, Mikey, what say you?
You know who I think is to blame. Lamar Jackson. No, I can't. Look, man, the Ravens blew this, right? Stevie Wonder can see, and look, there's no shot because he's my favorite artist, but Stevie Wonder can see that they blew this. Every other team in their situation took advantage of their star quarterback being on a rookie deal, right? Not only did they surround said players with talent, when they came up, they took care of him. Like you said, Hendo, 2 years ago, whatever it was, Josh Allen got what was it, 169 or was it 149?
It was once again, like Jose always says, when people get paid for what they do well, nobody remembers.
Yeah, right. So you know, up until this point, right, it was every contract, especially at the quarterback position, was going the same way. Okay, if y'all remember, going back to that time, everybody was saying, oh man, these guys are playing possum. Baker's waiting to see what Lamar get. Lamar's waiting to see what Baker get. They're both waiting to see what Josh Allen gets. up until this point, all contract, especially quarterbacks, the next man up set the market, right? If Josh Allen, let's say he got 150, Lamar Jackson might get 153 or 155. And the next person might get 160. It's just how it works. But they missed that opportunity. The Ravens have this arrogance with them, and they've done this with all of their star players. Go back and check. Back to Ray Lewis, who is, some say, is the greatest player to ever play or put on a Ravens uniform. They did the same thing with him, right? Joe Flacco. They could have signed Flacco for way less than they ended up paying him. But you know what they did? Nah, we ain't going to pay you that. Then the brother went and won the Super Bowl, and you had to pay him double that, right? Thanks. They have this arrogance where they want you to show and prove before I pay you this money, right? Like these players have not already shown and proved, right? So this time, it's turned around and bit them in their behind. They blew this. This was a golden opportunity. I can see if the Ravens, during the time period when Lamar was here and on his rookie deal, if they were spending money on and bringing in immense talent around them, and you can't come up with something, okay, man, well, look, they tried to do what they could do when they had him on that deal. This will go down as the biggest fumble in the NFL history. The biggest one. Not even bigger than dude that had the butt fumble or whatever.
Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez. This will be the biggest fumble in NFL history if this does not get worked out, because you have absolutely nothing to show. Even if you get 2 first-round picks, you have absolutely nothing to show. You're in a hole right now because you did not take advantage of him being on that contract like every other team did. Look at all the other teams. The Bills, they went and got Diggs and all those other guys. Even the Chargers went and paid their guys. Yeah, their wide receivers.
Mike Williams, Keenan Allen.
They paid them all. We did not do it. So it's only one person you could look at in this situation, or one side of this, and that's the organization side. They blew it. Either way you cut the pie, they blew this.
Facts. You know, for people that like stats, because you know some people are stats people. There has been one time in NFL history where there has been a franchise quarterback, first round pick, that is a Pro Bowler that did not get re-signed after his rookie deal, and that was Lamar Jackson in NFL history, the only one.
There you go. Look, it's all right there in front of you, man. B, you want to go, or should I go first so you don't steal my point? B already knows what I'm going to say.
I was going to say to Mike's question that Josh Allen signed a 6-year, $258 million deal with $150 million guaranteed. I think that's the fully guaranteed plus injury, I believe.
Right. Okay.
Could have had it for so much cheaper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the article talks about how Baker and Lamar were negotiating their extensions with Cleveland and Baltimore, respectively. 2021.
Well,
EDC
one team got it right.
They sure did.
All right. So, who is to blame? The answer is simple. Depends. Right? Listen. There is no first and foremost, there's no blame on Lamar. Now, how much blame goes to the Ravens, or do the Ravens get any blame? Completely depends on if they can turn things around fast enough. If they say, hey, we just don't want to pay Lamar, and they end up trading him to the Colts for that number 4 pick, and they're able to either maneuver up to the 3rd pick or stay at the 4th pick and get Bryce Young, and Bryce Young is as good as advertised, and the Ravens are still winning games and in the playoffs, then no harm done, right? Like they still were able to maintain a playoff team, a winning team, with hopes of winning a Super Bowl with a young quarterback. And they could say, hey, it was just business, right? The Ravens didn't want to pay him what he asked for, and they parted ways. And it's still business as usual around here. But if they don't do that, and the team is bad next year, and the year after that, in the year after that, because not only are you not able to pick high enough in the draft to get a franchise quarterback, there's also no quarterback that you're going to want to pay that's going to want to come here. If that happens, then it's all your fault. It is all your fault, Ravens, right? Lamar has no blame in this. He is not with the Baltimore Ravens. You tagged him. He's not signed to your team. Okay. He's not under contract with your team. He is trying to get a new contract. You don't want to pay him what he asked for. It's within his rights to ask for that. It's within your rights to say no. But who's it going to damage more down the road? You, because you don't have an answer, right? You can't even sign. Nelson Aguilar is the best you can do right now. That's the best you can do in the offseason. You can't even sign anybody. You're bringing in Odell, hoping he takes his $4 million or whatever competitive offer that he got. You can't build a team, right? You don't even know if Tyler Huntley's going to be on the team because he's a restricted free agent. He could be gone too. Then what are you going to do, right? So
Marvin
it all
Jones
depends
on
for
1 year and $3 million. By the way,
you said what?
Marvin Jones just signed for 1 year, $3 million.
Detroit.
Yeah. So it doesn't look good, right? I don't think they're going to win anything. I think they're going to be a very bad team. And the defense is just good enough to keep them out of like the top 5 pick. Right. So you'll be picking around 8th or something like that. Not enough to get the quarterback that you all thinking we can get. Oh, we can go get who's that quarterback next year? Caleb something?
Caleb Williams or Drake May. But they won't be able to get either one of them.
Do you know how bad you have to be for that? Are Ravens fans going to are the super fans going to stick around for that? What's that dude's name that was trying to go at us today? Kika. Is he going to be out there? Yeah, Ravens. Well, Greg's not there anymore. That was his guy, Greg. Todd. Yo, hurt. Yo. Right? Is he going to be out there? Or is he going to be, man, yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the game this week. That's how most of y'all going to be. All of these diehard, I'm a Ravens fan no matter what. Lamar can go. This isn't the Baltimore Lamars. All you guys are saying that next year, if we don't have a quarterback, I'm like, man, you know what? Man, that line of Safeway, boy, that was a long line. I missed the game, man, to be honest. Damn, we lost again. Man, long night. I fell asleep. I didn't wake up till like 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like I'll catch the highlights though. That's gonna be you guys, right? That's gonna be you guys. You love the team, but you just for whatever reason every week you're just missing the game. I had to go make a run. Had to go run some errands. Wife wouldn't let me watch the game again. Yeah. So look. Yeah, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Thank you, Mr. J.
Keita. Listen. All right. So let's just say for kicks and giggles, right? That nobody's at fault. Let's just say no one's at fault. It's just a part of business, and that's how things go for the first time in the NFL. But what we're doing is we're looking at the optics of it all. The Ravens have done irreparable damage to this organization because even if you let Lamar go and you get 3 or 4 first-round picks and you draft his replacement, what you've now done throughout the league is no real free agent is going to want to come here. They're like, if you couldn't pay Lamar Jackson, why would I think you're going to pay me? So nobody's going to want to come to Baltimore, whether you keep Lamar or he goes somewhere else. The damage that you've done to your previous sterling reputation is now over with. Then with the survey, it really put a damper into you. So, win, lose, fault, no fault, the Ravens have kind of messed up the situation.
Yeah. So I want to put this up here and give you a time to type your response while I give my answer to the question. Because Lamar has to accept some of the blame in the way he's handled business. It's not all on the Ravens. How has he handled the business? Explain what you mean by how he's handled the business. But to answer the question, who's at fault? What are you saying?
Before you go, I just want real quick play. 138 people in here. Salute. Make sure you hit that like button if you're new. Hit the subscribe button. Salute to the people over on Twitch and Facebook as well. Go ahead and follow. We have a Twitch channel and we have a Facebook page at LBHT Show. You'll be able to pull it up. Also, patreon.com/LBHT Show. I'm gonna bring this down for a second so people can see right below these guys. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. We have a lot of people in the chat. You guys are very passionate about this topic, and we appreciate it. We're not able to get to the chats like we used to, right? We like to go through the chats and everything. So the best way to get your comment read is our super chat, right? Which is $ LBHT Show. That's the Cash App. Also, the pin link that you see in the comment that'll take you to our stream elements. Okay, both ways. You leave your donation, leave your comment, and I'll read it on screen, and Microphone Man will salute you with a raised fist. Also, at Patreon, for as little as $3 a month, you can sign up to our Discord. Okay, and a lot of people have been signing up. And listen, you guys know, everybody that's in the Discord knows that thing is going all day long. Okay, so you have these strong opinions, and you just want to get off your chest. Sign up to the Discord, right? $3. You got $3 in your pocket. Go there, sign up, chop it up with us. We're in and out. Also Hendo on his Patreon has one. Coach Evans has a Discord as well. We're in all the Discords, so it doesn't even have to be ours. Anybody's Discord. Sign up to it, and if you didn't get enough in this conversation here, we can keep it going on Discord. All right. B. All right.
So I'm going to put this up here. I'll get to this in a minute. But to answer the question, who's at fault? In terms of just the negotiation, nobody's at fault of the negotiation, right? Lamar has a number that he wants. The Ravens have a number that they're willing to pay. They're not the same number, so the deal doesn't get done. That's fine. That happens with every player on every team. There's no fault there. But where there is fault is the Ravens putting out stuff in the media to damage Lamar's reputation, make him look bad, and then having him have to come out and kind of tweet and defend himself. Because there's just little stories about, oh well, he's disengaged, and he's his bad eating habits and sleeping habits, just all this little nonsense stuff. The team acted like they had no idea what was wrong with his knee when he got hurt. They knew exactly how hurt he was. They knew he couldn't play, and they're out there like, maybe this week, I don't know. They said he nearly had to get surgery, and they're acting like, well, maybe if he wasn't so money hungry, he'd be out there. But so they're definitely at fault for that. So the comment here, all those times he didn't want to negotiate was the time him or an agent should have been in the office with EDC hammering out a deal. How is that on Lamar? They've made, according to everything that's come out, they've made one offer. So if he, I'm sorry, most players don't want to negotiate during the season, right? So he gave him a deadline, and they gave him a garbage offer that he didn't want up to, right at that deadline. He said, "Okay, we'll talk after the season." Why is he at fault for that? That doesn't even make any sense. After the season ended, they started negotiating again, right? So what are you saying that he's at fault for? Because they're clearly not coming to meet his number, and he's not lowering his number. So having them negotiate throughout the entire season, hey, we'll give you 133. No, I want 200. Okay, we'll give you 133. No, I want 200. What was that going to do?
Right. Well, what if we give you 133 at signing? Well, what if we give you 133 guaranteed? What if we give you 133 on Wednesday? Shout out to Raven Ron for the 420. It says, I disagree. It will be the biggest fumble if Lamar goes elsewhere. Okay. Can he finish a full season with another team to lead them to the playoffs? Who knows if he is even playoff bound elsewhere? Why? Who knows if he's playoff bound with a team with talent around him? Why teams not willing? Raven Ron's our guy. He knows I'm messing with them. Why teams not willing to give up 2 first rounds already? Because they don't have to.
Right.
What happens after the draft when teams say, "All right, now I'm ready to spend."
Right.
And
that, not to cut you off, Zay, but what makes it the biggest fumble is like what I explained before. Let's say he walks, right? You get your 2 first-round picks. And let's say it works out perfectly for you, right? The Colts give you the pick, like Jose said, and you find a way to move up to the 2nd pick and you get Bryce Young, right? Let's say it works out perfectly. They get the guy that they covet, whoever it is, CJ Stroud or Bryce Young,
Anthony Richardson,
whoever, right? But who's there around him though? And that's where it's the fumble. That's the big fumble. If Josh Allen walks tomorrow, whoever comes back in there, he got talent. They have talent to work with. That's the part that makes this the biggest fumble. They did not take advantage of that contract situation when they had to. Whether he walks or not, whoever his replacement is does not have anything to work with. Nelson Aguilar.
And his
will be his number one.
Pat Ricard number 2.
So that's the fumble. You know what I mean? And then it's also a fumble. If you only get two first round picks for Lamar Jackson, when Seattle got 2 first, 2 second, and players, when the Bears just got what they got,
Deshaun got 3 first, I believe.
Yes,
yeah.
3.
What Houston got for Deshaun, if you don't get at least that, you fumbled.
I know Raven Ron. That's all good.
And I love Raven Ron. That's
we all love Raven Ron. That's that is our guy, man. Salute to you. Let me read this from D Weezy. Oh, that's on your side, B. What did D Weezy put?
He said D Weezy is a Baltimore Lamar's fan.
Salute to D Weezy, man. And Oscar Man 81. Salute. What does Oscar Man say?
He says LJ has to accept some of the blame for deal not being done.
So I would listen. I get where y'all coming from, and I would agree. Listen, if this was Darrelle Revis, you guys don't remember Darrelle Revis, okay? What he did was disrespectful, and he did it every single year.
It's very disrespectful.
I want 3 years, $90 million. Okay, fine, we'll give it to you. And he played out of his mind that year. Next year, I'm not showing up to camp unless I get $110 million.
Well, yeah, and this is really the what it comes down to for me. The question for the people who say that Lamar has to accept some of the blame. Why do you think it is his responsibility to take less than he thinks he's worth or less than he wants?
Well,
why do you think that's his responsibility?
Well, what point I was going to make with Darrelle Revis is I can understand that if he was under contract and he's just saying, "No, give me more," right? At some point, okay, man, just on your contract for 2 years, maybe, right? Lamar Jackson is not under contract. He has zero obligation to this team. Zero. None. You can't blame somebody that's not part of the organization, right? Do you blame, I don't know, do you blame Joe Burrow? Do you blame do you blame Derek Carr for what's going on? What's Derek Carr got to do with this? Derek Carr ain't part of this team. Neither is Lamar. He's saying, if you want me here, then this is what it's going to cost. And they're saying, no, thank you. So Lamar's not to blame for anything. Because when we say who's to blame, right? It's more than just keeping Lamar here. It's bigger than that. We're saying, who's to blame for this mess of a year we're about to have if we don't have Lamar? That's what we're really saying. Because if we really thought, if any of you guys truly thought we're fine without Lamar, you would not care. All right, fine, whatever. If he stays, he doesn't. We're gonna be just fine. Tyler Huntley can win games for us. We'll be okay. He can go. That's how you would feel. But if Lamar leaves, and the best case scenario is Tyler Huntley, right? That's not even a guarantee. The best case scenario is Tyler Huntley. You're looking at 5 wins at best.
Olamide says, not having an agent, not negotiating during the season, not engaging when EDC was trying to pin him down to negotiations. In his mind, he thought he would Flacco this thing by winning a Super Bowl. Roquan Smith didn't have an agent. Laremy Tunsil doesn't have an agent. That has nothing to do with anything. So I don't know why he brought that up. Not negotiating during the season. He told them well in advance of the season that he was not going to negotiate during the season, as many players do, because, as fans want them to do, they want to focus on football, right? You want him negotiating his contract every week, or do you want him focusing on playing Pittsburgh on Sunday? Right. Not engaging when EDC was trying to pin him down. Again, why is EDC trying to pin him down when he said, I'm not negotiating with you until after the season? If you tell somebody, hey, I'll talk to you, it's Wednesday right now, right? You say, hey, call me on Sunday. I'll talk to you about whatever it is on Sunday. And they call you Thursday. You picking up the phone? They call you Friday. Are you gonna pick up the phone and talk to them about it? No, you said call me on Sunday, so wait till Sunday, right? And I mean, yeah, of course he wanted to win a Super Bowl, but guess what? The team that EDC put together isn't good enough to win a Super Bowl with or without Lamar, because your number one receiver was DeMarcus goddamn Robinson. Why should he negotiate to play for that team? Why should he take less than what he's asking for to play for that team? Yeah, if you had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and an offensive genius at coach, maybe he takes a little bit less. You had Greg Roman, you had DeMarcus Robinson and Duvernay and Prochet. Who the hell wants to play for that?
Thanks. All right, let me read these tips. Salute to you guys. First one from Keelan. Shout out to you for $2. Says Ravens fans are ridiculous. They've watched Lamar cook with a receiving core that on average ranks bottom 5 in the league with Roman calling plays. What do you think he's doing with Pittman Jr., Pierce, JT, Jelani Woods, and Steichen and the QB-friendly offense? Hey, big facts. Also, JP for the 420, appreciate you, says something no one is talking about with this second highest paid QB contract is if Lamar hasn't signed because he isn't compensated for his rushing productivity. Facts. Lamar's rushing metrics are on par with the top 5 running backs the past few years. Talk about it. I've mentioned that before, right? You're concerned about his playing style, even though that's the style that you want him to do. Why don't you say, okay, I will take this team-friendly deal on the QB side, but also I want some escalators on my contract if I cross 700 yards rushing. I need another, what's the average of the top 5 running backs? Because you just said, top 5 running back. 13 mil. Okay. If I cross 700 yards rushing, I get an extra $10 million. Right? Don't want to do that, right? I mean, you're using him like that. You're using him as he's every year he's your leading rusher. You have 3, 4, 5 running backs on your team. You stack up on running backs. He's always your leading rusher. Okay, so give him that much too. Give him his money on that side. Give him his money on the quarterback side. I say he's giving you a bargain. Okay, and did we get another donation? Oh, yes. We did. Shout out to you guys really coming through. Appreciate it. Dayron for the 420. Appreciate you. Says the scariest part this tag is what the Ravens would do with 2 first-round picks. Oh, yeah. So look, you guys hit the nail on the head. No team with a high draft pick is going to give that to the Baltimore Ravens. They don't have to. They can use that pick, and then after the draft, they can deal with Lamar. Teams have until July, sometime in July, to work something out with them, right? Mm-hmm. So after the draft, call up, and yeah, we'll give you the next 2 years picks. Those will be lower. We promise you, they'll be lower. Right. 100%. Okay, and DJ Malone, I saw your comment, and appreciate you coming through. He basically said Lamar is 1-3 in the playoffs. He said, I'm going to say this: Lamar is 1-3 in the playoffs. So is Deshaun Watson. I was going to say so is Herbert, but Herbert hasn't won a playoff game yet. Yeah. Okay.
Dak Prescott, what's his record?
I think he has 1. Mm-hmm. 2 now. I think he has 2. He just got his second one this year. And Kirk Cousins didn't have a playoff win when he got his money. Playoff wins means it don't mean anything. It means absolutely nothing. Oh, the Buck stops here. Shout out to Buck. Salute to you. Says keep up the excellent work, crew. Love the content, fellas. Hey, thank you, Buck. And if you watch baseball, baseball fans are here. I'm messing with you. If you are a baseball fan, go subscribe to the Buck Stops Here. Okay, he's putting out baseball content over there, so go check it out. You guys know we don't talk baseball over here.
Marcus says that's not a negotiation challenge. Just saying meet my number or else isn't how it works. That's not how Watson got his deal. That is a negotiation. You might not like that.
And that is how Watson got his deal.
Exactly what he did. Exactly what he did because the Cleveland Browns were not number 1.
He ruled the Browns out.
Yeah, the Falcons were there. The Panthers were there. Carolina could have got him, and they said, You have to guarantee the last year of my deal. Carolina said no. He said, get the hell on. And then Cleveland said, we'll do it. And now he's a Cleveland Brown. So that's exactly how that went down.
and this is the thing, right? Everybody's talking about he could have been negotiating. He stopped negotiating after training camp or whatever. That's announcing that is what you is that's negotiating in good faith, right? Listen. If we don't get to something by this date, man, I'm just gonna put it on hold until after the season. That's negotiating in good faith. It wasn't that he said, he just decided. EDC tried to call him and he was like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to talk to you right now. He laid it out there up front. That's how you negotiate in good faith. Now, to Illuminate's point, right, and Raven Run, right? There, when it comes to the negotiating side, right, both sides they play some fault. So I agree with you there, right? But the fault is, first of all, like Jose said, the fault that we're talking about is that we're putting on the organization is 2 years ago, right? Because we wouldn't be here right now if they'd have took care of business then. That's the fault that we're talking about. But in negotiations, obviously both sides play games, right? You're gonna do that. That's why it's called negotiating. So yeah, Lamar does take some fault in some things, but the fault isn't not having an agent, because we know what a number is, right? I know what I want, right? And you know what you want to offer. So I think last we heard, right, they were somewhere with millions apart. Was it $100 million apart? We did hear that. So if we're not even close to my number, that's also not negotiating, because you know what I want and you're not even close to that. So we not even close to that we can't talk. So this is just how it is, right? This is how it goes down, right? It's also you like Marcus is saying, it was a bidding war for Watson. Negotiations are nothing but bidding wars. It's just the two of you in this situation. It's one side versus the other, but it's nothing but a bidding war. Lamar wants this. I'm offering you this, and hopefully you meet somewhere.
I got you, DJ. I got you.
But it's all bidding war. That's all negotiation.
Yeah. I see. I see what you said, DJ. I got you. All right, listen. We don't have much time left here. We gotta get to some Panthers talk.
You should be ashamed of yourselves trying to bogart the time and keep the Panthers out of this.
150 people in here. Salute. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. In case you didn't know, this is a Ravens and Panthers show. Okay, we're going to discuss some Panthers, and if we have enough time, we'll get back. We'll open it up to the bonus time. You guys are very passionate about this. I highly encourage you guys to go to patreon.com/LBHT Show. If you have $3 in your pocket, you can sign up and join the Discord, and you can get access to our overtime show. The Discord, we can keep this conversation going 24/7 if you want. All right. Let me read this donation. I'm going to read a couple more comments, and then we're going to talk some Panthers, because there's some Panthers fans in here that were arguing with us, in particular about JC Horn. But we're going to get into the moves that the Panthers have made up to this point, the right moves and the wrong moves. And all right, shout out to Keelan. Keelan says true Lamar's record in the playoffs is 1-3. But from 2015 to 2017, what playoff tournaments were the Ravens in? Right, facts. What was their record before Lamar became a starter in 2018, his rookie year? Dude saves jobs, brings back winning, and gets this BS fans. Man. Oh, it gets this BS. Oh, get these BS fans. Yeah. All facts. Facts.
DJ, we do have a Discord. As does Hendo, as does Coach. If you hit up patreon.com/LBHT Show, $3 will get you into the Discord. It's basically a one-time fee. We don't really kick anybody out of the Discord, even if you cancel the Patreon.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Well, those are behavioral issues.
Yeah.
Not monetary.
Keep that $3 covered.
Patreon.com/LBHT Show, Patreon.com/ROUG, or Patreon.com/Sip2Tally.
Yes, join any one of those. You can get a hold of us at any of those, and we'll chop it up with you when we can. because we all work. Shout out to Sterling. Thanks for coming through. Says people care about Panthers the way Hendo cares about meat. Hendo is a vegan. Sterling, that is not true. There are Panthers fans in here. We know this because the last Panthers video that we put out, the comments, boy.
He cares a lot about meat. That's why he's vegan.
Right.
Well, go ahead, hit him with it, Hendo.
He cares a lot about pre-meat, I guess.
Pause.
I wasn't even going to do it this time.
I was waiting for Hendo.
Wasn't even going to do it.
All right, let me re-add to Pop's comment here before he posted again.
Yes.
Shout out to Attitude Pop, man. Appreciate you. He says it's disgusting how these fans have turned on Lamar and how these teams are literally telling you why they are colluding when Lamar speaks the truth on Twitter. Now it's he needs to shut up and he's a liar. Hey, all facts, Attitude Pop.
Can I say one thing about Attitude Pop?
Yes.
Attitude Pop, you've come a long way, bro.
A long way.
I remember you from the beginning. You've come a long way, man. Salute to you, Attitude.
Facts.
Salute.
You get a salute. I had to mute you so many times. You just wouldn't stop.
All right. Panthers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We did a video on Adam Thielen, a wide receiver that the Ravens should have signed, but the Panthers said we'll take him and DJ Chark. I take both of those guys right now. I would love to have them over Nelson Aguilar. Oh, thank you, Joy. Thank you. Joy says, fire topic, fellas. All around good show. Oh, thank you so much. And Joy is also a patron. We appreciate your support. Thank you. Yes. So, look, the Panthers are making a lot of good moves right now, right?
Yes,
I like the way they constructed their coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I like the moves they're making free agency. I didn't like how they got to the number 1 pick. We'll discuss that in a minute.
Oh, no.
What?
What up? Does that pop up?
Yes.
My bad, Derek. I had put it up there, and then, we were talking about other donations, and then I forgot to go back to it. I'm sorry, Derek. I apologize.
What did Derek say?
Oh, I thought you were reading it then, but okay. I guess I'll do that. He said the Ravens fumbled so hard. Mike ready for the MLB. Go O's.
There you go.
You do, Sterling. You hate it.
Okay. So, but yes, they got the number 1 pick. I don't like how they got to that point to get the number 1 pick, but I do think they're going to make the right pick at quarterback. And when they do, this is going to be...
Funny you say that.
Will have a season.
What? Shout out to Anonymous for a $25 donation. What is Anonymous saying?
Which QB will the Panthers draft in 2023?
Okay, all right, but we'll answer that question and then we'll talk about what the Panthers did wrong to get this pick.
Yeah, so I would be happy with any of the top 3 quarterbacks. That's not including Will Levis, so don't say it again, Hendo. That's Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, or Anthony Richardson. I think that they are at this point. There's a lot of misinformation going around. There's a lot of stories that they prefer Bryce Young, they prefer Stroud. Oh, it's going to be a surprise, which means Anthony Richardson, even though they don't want to say that. I think that they're going to take Bryce Young. I want them to take Anthony Richardson though. I'm sold. Our guy, Mr. J, has brought me over to the dark side. I want AR-15 in Carolina. But I think that they're going to go with Bryce Young. And I'll be very, very, very happy with Bryce Young. He's an excellent player.
Okay. I got CJ Stroud.
I got CJ Stroud as well. But Anthony Richardson is coming to Team Hendo.
How sure are you on that, B? Are you confident? Because the odds, there's some good odds to put a nice wager on them taking Bryce.
Listen, I'm not going down the Jose road.
Now your brother steered me down the wrong road last time.
I'll say this. I will answer your question. My confidence level in them drafting Bryce Young is about 33%.
Okay,
so not high.
So you split it between 3 people?
Till we get closer to the draft, yeah.
I think they go with Stroud. I just think the measurables scare people off of Bryce Young. Not saying it should, but I think that might be scaring my man Frank over there. So
hit all his 6'3" and above quarterbacks that he's over. Yeah.
DJ Malone says Stroud to Panthers, Young to Titans, Richardson to Colts, Levi Titans, Hooker to Vikings. Okay, all right, I like that. One section says Panthers getting Will Levis would be as shocking as when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones. You did all that. Listen, we're talking about right moves and wrong moves for the Panthers. That would
shocking is when the Panthers drafted J.C. Horn.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, I want to talk about even though they've made a lot of right moves up to this point, the moves prior to that got them to this point where they had to give up DJ Moore, right? Because we didn't like that they had to give up DJ Moore. It might turn out to be nothing in the end because they got to, solid to good wide receivers in return right now. They still have the draft, and if they get the right quarterback, you're not going to be talking about DJ Moore, right? So that's fine within itself, but it didn't have to come to this because why, B? What did they do wrong leading up to this?
They drafted J.C. Horn, and that's not anything against J.C. Horn himself. J.C. Horn's a good player, but I wanted Justin Fields in that draft. And, I know that some people don't like Justin Fields. I think he finally, the light came on last year and he really turned things around. And now with them building up the O-line, they got him some wide receivers, Cole Kmet's coming on. I think that he's going to play very well. But it wasn't even just Justin Fields, right? Because they also were in desperate need of a left tackle, and Rashawn Slater was there. And they didn't draft him because his arms were slightly shorter than Matt Rule thinks the prototype left tackle's arm should be. And so he got to go to the Chargers. Also, Devonta Smith. Now, look, you can like J.C. Horn and everything, that's fine, but offense beats defense in the NFL today. That's just the way it is. It's more important to be able to score points. And Carolina was then, and even up until right now, was in desperate need of a number 2 wide receiver. Devonta Smith, good enough to be a number 1 wide receiver, but they could have paired him with DJ Moore, right? But they went ahead and they took J.C. Horn, to add to Jeremy Chin and Derek Brown and Brian Burns and Shaq Thompson and, C.J. Henderson and all these other guys who turn out to be a, kind of below average defense. So, yeah, not real thrilled with that move in particular, but it's fine. They came back. They got Ikwonu at left tackle. I think he's going to be very, very good. I think their whole line is set at this point, assuming Corbett comes back from that injury and plays well. They went out and they got Adam Thielen. They went out and they got DJ Chark. Even they went out and they signed Hayden Hurst. I don't like Hayden Hurst. He's not a good player, but he's a better tight end than what they had. So they have turned the offense around. It's just not as good as it could or should have been. Because this is a team that a couple of years ago had DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Greg Olsen as their skill players on offense, and now they've downgraded at every one of those positions. But it's not a bad offense. I forgot to mention they signed Miles Sanders. I thought that was a very good signing as well. I do like the direction they're going in. I just think that they lost a lot of blood unnecessarily in getting there.
Yeah, no, I agree. But here's why I will ask, right? Let's say they drafted Rashawn Slater. Mm-hmm. What did they do in the draft where they got Ikwonu, this last draft?
I don't remember exactly who was available, who else was available at that point.
This wasn't a good QB class. That's why I asked. Like,
it
wasn't
the
kind of QB
draft here. Hold up.
Maybe wide receiver.
Great content here while I'm looking it up.
They
they could have taken Drake London. They could have taken Garrett Wilson. They could have taken Chris Olave, Jamison Williams. Even Jordan receiver. Davis. There were guys, and you know what? You don't know that it wasn't a good class for quarterbacks. All right, that's not written yet. Toddler Digits is getting it done over there.
DJ Malone said we take J.C. Horn off your hands.
Huh? Yeah, we would.
Yeah. The Ravens would take J.C. Horn.
Of course they would. That's what I've been saying all offseason. Send them J.C. Horn and get Lamar Jackson and see and look back in, I don't know, 6 months and see who's still happy with that trade.
Spawn says the Panthers could snag Darnell Washington too. Man, yeah. Marcus says, well, didn't expect Brian to say AR-15. Look, man,
Mr. J swayed me, man. Like if you talk to Mr. J the 6th, right there below your comment, he'll have you on AR-15 too.
Facts.
He swayed me.
Okay, now here's the other argument that's been going on in the comments, because there's one person, I wish I would have screenshotted his comment. He vehemently he disagreed. He disagreed.
Vehemently?
Yes. I'm trying to use big words like Rodney over there. He disagreed with B's comments about J.C. Horn and Hayden Hurst. But first, there is a donation. Can you read that, B?
Yeah. So this. Thank you, KP, for the donation. He says, "Why do you want AR-15? Just curious." I think that after going back and really watching him. Well, obviously, one, there's the athleticism, which is off the charts, better than anyone in the history of the NFL at that position. He has an absolute cannon for an arm. He walks in one of the strongest arms in the league. And I think going back, like I said, after really watching him, it's overblown how much work he needs. He needs to be more consistent for sure, but it's not a situation where it's like this dude doesn't even know how to play football and it's going to be, a couple years before you can really start him. I think that a lot of what you saw at Florida turned out to be not great talent all around on that team.
Or coaching.
Or coaching. I think he's further along than what most people believe. And look, I could be wrong. I could just be falling in love with the potential of Anthony Richardson. But that's just my view at this point, is that he's further along and he'll be ready to go sooner than most think. And that he's going to hit higher on that potential scale than lower.
Okay. Mikey Hendo, what are your thoughts on AR-15? Is he worthy of the number one pick?
He said my name first, so I'll go this time. I'll go first this time.
I did it on purpose.
You know what?
Classic private chat stuff.
I kind of agree with Spawn, right? I'm a little shaky on taking anybody that you consider a project at number one, but he seems to be a damn good project. Right, like if we gonna call him a project, he seems to be the one that you want to take a chance on here. So I don't know, man. I'm just thinking overall. I don't know if Frank wants to go down that path, or he wants to take the guy who he thinks is close to the finished product as he can. But I don't know, man. I think you can. Either one of the three that we named, and even the other guy, he might be worthy of this spot here. So I don't think you go wrong, especially with the top three guys that's on the board.
Okay. And
I would say also they're all projects, man.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you I mean, to Spawn's point, right? I think when you drafted someone number one overall, you kind of want that guy that that's that can't miss guy, right? But we don't know if we have that in this draft, right? Especially at the quarterback position. So you're right, B. Like they all projects to their own right. So
okay, Hendo, go ahead and give your thoughts, because this is the end. We have to go.
All right, so I was not a believer up until this stream, and to the point of taking them first overall. You might as well, because like you said, all these quarterbacks are projects. There have been so many first-round quarterbacks that have not lived up to their potential. But what has me going for him is I saw part of his pro day. Pretty good. But what has swayed me a little bit more when I think about it now is Cam Newton was a project. They said he couldn't hack it at Florida, so he went to junior college, transferred to Auburn. He didn't have the mechanics. He didn't have the mental makeup. He was immature. They said all of these things about Cam Newton, and he came in and set rookie records.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can do it, I think Anthony Richardson can as well. That's why he's Team Hendo.
I think I
hate you so goddamn much.
Listen. It's getting hot in here, right? Because in a few, we're gonna give you guys a couple. We're gonna give you. Is it start at 9 or 9:05?
9:05.
Oh, okay. We got to wrap this up. Okay. We gotta wrap this up because look, what's about to happen. All right, if you guys want to be witness of this, okay, if you want to be a witness of this, all right. Part 2, okay. In a couple minutes. Listen, I know we're cutting this short. We told you we had to cut it a little bit shorter. It's almost right about the time I said, about 1 hour and 40 minutes. Okay. We don't really have enough time to do bonus time, but come over to the overtime show. Go to patreon.com/LBHT Show. Look, I'm gonna put the big one up here. I'll put the big one up here so you guys get your reading glasses out and take a look at that right there. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. If you have $3 in your pockets, okay. I see 131 people in here. Okay. If you got $3, I know some of you guys got $3. Go ahead, go over there. Sign up. Check out the overtime show. Go to the Discord. Okay. There's a link to the Discord channel. We can keep the conversation going as long as you want over there. All right. Listen, real quick, tell everybody where they can find you, and let's get going. Start with Tendo.
You can find me at the Rogue Pod on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. You can find me on audio form. Make sure wherever you get your audio podcast from, you check me out, give me a 5-star rating. You can also sign up to my Patreon and be in my Discord at patreon.com/ROUG. For $3, you can get into my Discord. For $5, you can get into the Fantasy Pick'em League. And when you a ring like this, which they don't want to show on camera,
nope.
Cool. Okay, you can win a ring like this for $3. But if you want the $10 one and you want the goodies, you can sign up for the Fantasy Football Dynasty League and win you one of these.
He also has one of these right here.
Oh yeah, that's the LBHT. So you can get,
he to stay winning. Mikey,
so all I do is
where can they find you?
Look, man, y'all know me by now, but if you don't, there's a few in here. Going over to Open Mic with OTR Mike and subscribe to that channel, man. I have reached 300 subscribers, so I appreciate all of you. My next move is 500 and then 500 million after that. Lofty goals, but I plan to get there eventually. Listen, I have a lot of stuff in the vault, man, so go over there.
It's coming out.
And Pete was there already, man. Like and subscribe, do all of that good stuff. I'm also on audio, so you can find me there on your way to work, on your morning jog, or you doing your on the toilet, and you just need something to listen to, man. So I'm there. Follow me on Twitter at OTR_Mike, TikTok OTR_Mike, and Instagram at OTR_Mike_. I follow back unless you're on that weird stuff. And I'm 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast. Don't believe what Brodney says. It was my birthday. That's why
it was his birthday. Happy birthday.
That's why I wasn't there. But I am 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast, just the only. Well, I ain't gonna say the only, but just the best boxing podcast out in the game.
Facts.
If you're just a casual fan who's just learning boxing or want to learn boxing, we welcome you. Some of these other channels do not, but we welcome you because we teach you about boxing. We bring you in and we school you about it. So let me hurry up. I'm long-winded. So yeah, go follow me over there. Giving quality, I appreciate that, and I'll check y'all out.
All right, still over 100 people here. Thank you so much. Indeed. All right, but we gotta get out of here. Patrons, get ready. The overtime show will start. The draft will start shortly. Everybody else, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Y'all have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week. B, are you ready?
Ready.
Ready. We will see you next time. Peace.